Hi guys, this is Claudia here for We Don't Care at the Metaldays 2016 with Retrace My Fragments now. Thanks for being here.
Hi, I'm Max. Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
My first question is that when I read some stuff about you, there was like a funny definition or a very long definition of your style. Did you write that yourself? Did somebody else write that?
No, we came up with that. We didn't really know how to describe it. You know, if we want to keep it short, we say, well, we play death metal, but you know, sometimes it doesn't do it justice. So we put more stuff in there, and it becomes like, you know, it's like at Subway. You start with your basic sandwich, and then you add all that kind of stuff on it, and so we came up with this huge description, and I think one of it says challenging but rewarding death metal. So it's hard to listen to at the start, but if you get into it, you know, you might like it. You know, that's and we try to define it a bit more, but I think we can stick to progressive death metal.
And when you were starting out the band, like, did you have discussions on what to play or what not? Which styles can be in it, which won't?
Oh, when the band was started, we weren't in there. So the band has changed over the years. But we had a discussion on what direction it would go, and that's when many members left the band, and we got new members in there. And I think we defined back then what we wanted to do, because some people in the band were more hardcore oriented. And the first album, like the first EP we released, was more... sounded a bit like Belgian deathcore, like bands like Archangel. Those influences were still in there, and then we had discussions like, I don't know if that's the thing we want to do. And now with this lineup, I think we've been together for 6 years now, like this. It just worked straight away. So we all listen to different stuff, but also we have some common links together, and the songwriting is effortless. So it goes down really easy, real quick, which is cool.
So you're doing the songwriting all together, or is there like somebody who's doing that mainly and then the others contribute?
I'm a bit of a dictator in there, so I do a lot of it because I just have too much time, you know. I mean, those guys all work hard and I don't. I work a bit less, so I have loads of time to write riffs, and then we arrange it together. So I just come up with like loads of ideas, and we send it to each other. We write it down on a computer so everybody can see it, because it would take too much time to show someone the riff in practice because it's too difficult. So we just write it down, like, oh yeah, sounds cool, it's decent. And then in the practice room, we arrange everything. So that's how it works. And that works quite good, I mean, because then we have a bunch of riffs, and then we just, you know, it's just like putting everything together, linking the pieces. Our drummer, he's really good at that. Like, he just knows where things should go, and that's fantastic.
There is no limit for imagination. In our creations, you can do everything you want. You hear, you can imagine. So our influences are coming from everywhere. So it can be electro, old school rock, from 70s, 80s till Dillinger Escape Plan and bands like that. So no limits. That's our world.
And on Facebook, I saw that there's also, because you were talking about the influences, Obscura. So did you get to see them?
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah, yesterday. Really great.
That's why we were a bit tired today, but I think it was definitely worth it. You know, I've seen them, I think, 4 or 5 times now. Skoura with different lineups, yes, yeah. We're really big fans, because they have a thing that many technical death metal bands don't have. They have really good songwriting. So for many, I think there's many bands that just like play really fast and loads of notes, but you're like, what's happening? But those guys, they really have a decent songwriting, so you don't have that many riffs. And they remind us a bit of Death, you know, Death the band, and that was the perfect band. So yeah.
So do you know the guys by now? Do you know the guys from the band by now?
From Obscura, maybe we had a little chat with them at some concerts. That happened because, you know, we see each other quite often, and sometimes, yeah. Well, if you see a band like 3 times in a year, they kind of remember your face, and you get to do little chats. But yeah, they're very nice. They are very behaved, because they just drink glasses of red wine, and they're very elegant people and very cool.
Yeah, we met them in Luxembourg, and they played a show in Luxembourg also. It was very very good show. Like always from them.
Yeah.
And still about your influences that make your songwriting what it is. Do you also have influences like from literature, like Terry Pratchett, or from films, like sci-fi stuff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That would be our singer, but he's a huge fan of Philip K. Dick, the man who wrote Total Recall, like the novel that influenced Total Recall, and because our album Ethereal Flux is a concept and it's a science fiction story. So what happened is that our singer wrote a story, like a novel, short story about 80 pages, I think. And the lyrics, they're taken from it, so it's just bits and pieces. If you read the lyrics, they don't make any sense. First of all, they're like bilingual, so they're French and English. So if you don't speak both, it's already a bit hard. But if you don't know the context and like the characters and that, it's very, very hard. So yes, there's a lot of influence from science fiction stories in there. We are all a bunch of geeks. Really love that. Also, astrophysics are fascinating. Black holes are so cool. They are like the best death metal band ever, I think, because they're so massive and they just devour everything. Black holes are.
I think we are curious people, so we love everything which around us. It's around us, and we try to have a look on it, how it works, and how can it happens and help us to live. So we are curious, and you can find it in our music. So for this reason, we have so many influences, and literature, music, everything, nature, sci-fi, or history. We love everything.
We like concepts, so we kind of dive into something and explore it a bit more to get more out of it. So not just scratching the surface, but like, so if you do an album on a subject, we really just do that. I think we did it once now like that, and it worked very well. I think we'll probably do that again, stick to concepts, and just we'll see what it is. It doesn't have to be science fiction, you know. It was science fiction for this album. It could be something completely different for the next one. I've got a bunch of ideas, but we'll see. We'll find out.
So when you say you go further into detail when you look at something, is that also the case when you're like looking at the theory of music or technical things on your instruments?
Absolutely. That is something we do all the time. I mean, how can you make it more complicated? That's what's happening in our practice room. We have a riff, and then our drummer, he starts playing stuff, and he goes like, no, this is not right. No, this is too easy. And then he starts developing stuff. Sometimes he takes out a pen and paper, and then he writes down stuff, does equations, and that's how we get the music even more complicated. So yes, we do take a look at theory. I mean, we do not all know music theory. Some of us do, some of us don't. But in the end, I mean, it's the ear who will do the judgment. So we can exploit some of the theories and we make use of it, and then we just, we fuck around with it and then throw it away and break the rules, and that's how stuff comes up. So I guess, yes.
We try to stay complicated but listenable.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's not a total chaos because you want to play the notes, okay?
Yeah.
They should have sense for us.
Yeah.
That's most important. That okay, you can make complicated stuff, but just try to be musical and have good listening of things.
And so are you also like geeks concerning all the stuff you have, like your amps and effects stuff?
Oh yeah, we are super geeky. No, we love gear. I mean, I love gear. I'm a guitar teacher back home and a guitar tech, and I have way too many guitars. So I just, that's what people tell me too. But when you don't have any room for your guitars, you know that you have too many. I don't know. I'm around 14, 15 7-string guitars now. So yeah, it's a stalker, yeah, of course. But
I'm sure they're all very special.
Yeah, they all look the same, but they're a bit
Names.
different. Yeah, they have different. No, they have different woods. They have different pickups. So I always try out stuff. Change pickups and see what works best. But it doesn't always have to be very expensive. Like the guitar I play today is a standard Jackson. It's like 600-700 euros. It's green, that's why I bought it, because it's super green. Everybody sees it, you know. People come, I don't know, from the camping, from the beach, they're like, oh, look, it's green guitar. Maybe I stay and look at the green guitar. And you don't really even... So there's no really geek thought about behind the green guitar. But amp-wise, definitely. I use an XFX, so there's loads of sound possibilities. And it also helps us to record on our own. So we save a lot of money with that, you know, by being geeky. And our drummer too, he has like this plays at his home like a geek office, you could call it, with like E-drums in there and mixing desks and everything you can imagine, you know. It looks super, super geeky. There's cables everywhere. It's like tiny recording studio. So I think we all have possibilities to record ourselves. So that's how we recorded the album. And I think being geeky at something is not only helpful to discover new stuff, but like by this way you can also save a lot of money, because you can do more stuff on your own if you experiment a bit. And
like I told you previously, we are curious people, so we want to do it by ourselves.
Right.
So we spend time. Okay, I'm not go on the party each weekend, but I spend it home, maybe playing. It's better for me.
And one last question is one that I put into all my interviews: is what is it that defines an artist? Are you artists?
I think it's a state of mind. It's a good question. You cannot feel like artists because you have your doubts, and you never. If you feel happy as an artist and you feel full of proud that you are artists, I don't think you cannot be a good artist. You have to doubt a little bit because it makes you thinking about yourself and what you are doing. So never leave this path, I think.
I think everybody who's creative and then doing something on his own could be an artist. Whether you play music, whether you paint things, whether you, I don't know, write things, you know. Everybody who does something creative on his own can be an artist. So I don't think, probably everybody can be an artist, you know. Everyone in this world can do it. And I think everybody does it in his own way, you know. So maybe we're all artists, maybe we're not.
You have to
but yeah,
your way,
you know, we have these things here. It says artist, so I guess yes. Now I'm a super artist. I'm labeled.
Yeah.
I'm getting labeled here. Call me artist.
Good one.
See? So yes, I am an artist. But when I take it off, maybe I'm not anymore. Maybe then I'm just like the guitar teacher or the history student.
But sometimes, okay, if you feel good and you have good feelings, you can make a pictures or make a music or write something. Often it arrives to me to check one moment in your life and you want to share it or keep it, the moment. And I think if you want to stay like that, it makes you really artist. Just share it with other people, the way you are thinking good.
Yeah, just be yourself and you will be an artist too. I think that's what defines us.
And who does your artwork then for like CDs and merch and stuff? Do you do it yourself or is there somebody else?
No, there is an artist. It's a friend of the band. It's a friend of the band who he has his own like design company. It's called Omniscient. It's hard to pronounce. Omniscient Being, and he does like very minimal artwork, which we kind of think is cool because most death metal bands have like very brutal, you know, zombie skull fuck covers. I like that, you know. If I would do the covers, we could never sell them in Germany, for example, because it would be censored and there would be skulls and torpedoes and I don't know, and blood and zombie penetration, whatever. So our singer, he takes care of that because he knows the guy really well, and the guy is always taking his inspiration from the lyrics. And he comes up with really cool stuff. It's always minimal. I think it's minimal art, and it's something you don't see a lot in metal. many people could mistake us for like an electro band or techno artist, but we think it's kind of cool. It's a bit different, and it's very important to us that it looks kind of cool, but it shouldn't be cliche, you know, because we're not cliche too. We
Try to be different.
yeah.
On our
doesn't?
artwork too.
That's
So,
really cliche to say that, actually.
No, it's really cliche, but it's true. That's all.
It's cliche, but it's true though.
Yeah. You can.
Right. So with that cliche, I would say thank you so much for the interview. Thank you for your music.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Too, yeah.